Hey everyone, I hope you remember me. Why would you forget? But I'm Arkaditya Roy. This is a verse maker, and let's get on with our video. Before we start with today's episode, I'd like to extend my heartiest vote of thanks to everyone who liked and shared my video. Honestly, I never actually thought that there would be such a huge reply and response from every one of you. So thank you for that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click down on the notification bell and stay tuned. So now, it's hardly been 5 days since India has celebrated its Independence Day. So, happy times, right? Well, maybe not. Sitting here in 2020, if you're watching this, consider yourself lucky because 2020 is a complete and utter bollocks. Well, if you sit down to write a list of the good things that happened in 2020, I can assure you that your list would go down as a pork chop in kosher wedding. Well, too dramatic, right? Is it? But enough of the starters, now let's get down and devour and savor the entree. Hail thou goddess, sage and holy, hail divinest melancholy, whose saintly visage is too bright to hit the sense of human sight. These memorable lines from Milton's Penseroso pretty much sums up the notion that has been prevalent, well, let's say from the beginning of time. Sadness and creativity are the dearest mates of each other. Back in the 4th century BCE, Aristotle says that all men who have attained excellence in philosophy and in poetry and in art and in politics, even Socrates and Plato, had a melancholic habitus. And well, to be honest, he wasn't really fibbing. In the late 18th century, melancholia had entered into a new sense of fashionability, partly informed by the literary and philosophical trends. If you manage to look at Foucault's work entitled The History of Sexuality, Foucault says, where there is power, there's resistance. And well, Meena Kandasamy is one of India's foremost female Dalit writers who actually manages to stand up against the various politics of power that remains or that still persists in the society. Her poetry depicts the micro-politics of power and sexuality and gender roles and myths that the patriarchal society tries to project. And she's an avid activist and a feminist, and through her poetry she attempts to figuratively and metaphorically free women from the clutches of the patriarchal society. First published in Muse India, her poem, He Replaces Poetry, portrays an endless oxymoron where happiness is what summons woe, and it is precisely what makes and breaks us at once. The poem also projects the toxic masculinity that entails in relationships and how it provides nothing but a facade to our emotions and feelings inside. But then for poets, happiness is like veronal in blood. He replaces poetry. 2 months into love, and today I turn into a whore hunting for words, tearing them out from soiled sheets of mind, or pinching them from the world like removing jade green flecks from tiger's eyes. And poetry refuses entry into my mirrored life that is bequeathed to him. I try the madwoman's antiques. I have pulled my hair and bruised my thin wrists and bit the insides of my cheeks till they have bled a warm red soreness, and I have starved in arrogance to call the words home to me and thrown up to clear me of him. But he, strong dark man, refuses to budge, give way or take leave. My dark nights of savage tears have gone in search of needy shores, deserting me with the devil of a lover who sleeps a half a dozen streams apart. And so have the words that once made me the sad lone woman I once pretended to be. I'm happy now, he says, and I nod like a tango doll in breeze and reply in inclined tones, this is happiness. I know I do not indulge in lies or delusion, but this is happiness. And happiness is a hollow world for fools to inhabit, where all dreams eventually die by coming to life. Love has smothered me to a gay inertia, and I long for a little hurt and pain that will let me scream, and I wait for fending words to roam into worlds where I shall cry wildly for whole nights, like the lament of lonely old and greying seas. Then sadness shall come back with its dancing fairy lights and nail me to wailing crosses. Poetry, in the end, shall replace all of him. Thank you guys. That's been my time. Bye bye.